Well, hello. It is a Sunday morning at 9 something ish. I've been out for a little while now, just driving around. I found myself just somewhere on some county road after driving for a good while, looking at the mountains and taking some pictures of the snow covered mountains. It has been several weeks since I've made it out, and that's kind of why I pushed myself to doing this, even though I did not wake up early enough to go specifically look for wildlife when it's most active. I still had the overwhelming guilt of not going out that I feel. So I got up anyway late and came out just for a quick thing to look around to see the landscape now that it is winter. Because winter has definitely set in now. Um, the last time I went out, and it's kind of been eating at me that I haven't been going out and using the new lens, but the last time I went out was in October, the 22nd, 23rd, I think is the weekend of it. I don't remember the exact dates. Um, and it is now November the 13th, I think. So it's been a little bit. And the last time I went out, I went to the Rocky Mountain National Park and I saw the elk, which was really cool. I was really happy about that. So that kind of put me on a higher level of like, yeah, I'm doing what I want to do, achieving these goals and dreams that I have. And so then the following weekend, I edited the whole time and I felt good about that. And then the next weekend, I was like, all right, well, I'm taking this weekend off because I just need some time. But still, the guilt is there and the feeling that I'm not out there doing what it is anytime I'm not going out. But there's also been other extenuating circumstances, such as the winter. I don't really want to go out when it's snowing or dangerous or things like that. And we've gotten snow several times. There's snow all over the ground, as I expect this is what it will stay for the rest of winter, because every couple of days there's snow and there's prediction for snow tomorrow. Whether or not it's true, I don't know, because of the area, the different the valleys and the mountains and the ranges like that, where the snow predictions come from. The weather forecast is not like localized to my specific location or the areas that I would be going to. So even though they go, oh, there's a winter warning, there's 10 inches, and you go and you look and it's like, well, it's because it's 10 inches on this mountain that's somewhere else a couple hours away. It's like, cool. But anyway, the snow has been something keeping me inside, my own self wanting to take a break, and then the guilt eats at me and whatnot. I was going to make it out yesterday morning. Yesterday was the 12th. I know that because I stayed inside and watched a 12-hour live stream put on by Rooster Teeth, where they do an Extra Life live stream, which, for anyone who doesn't know, is something that they do every year. Extra Life is just a giant community coming together, playing video games, raising money for sick children. Great cause, and then Rooster Teeth is a company that makes videos on the internet. That's something, if you've been watching for a while, you may notice, if you are in the know of that particular niche. When I started out, the only beanie I really had was one I got from Extra Life because it had the heart on it, and so that was really cool. So I watch that every year, and that's kind of an excuse. Usually I join in and buy merchandise and donate money. Can't do that this year, unfortunately, due to the more expensive location that we're in and finances being so tight, but still an excuse to sit and watch goofy antics and them doing money for a good cause. So I knew I was going to set that aside. And then yesterday was out of the question, but I thought maybe it doesn't start right in the morning, a couple hours in. Maybe I can get up and I can get out and I can just do a quick little look around, look for wildlife, get out, and an excuse to use the lens. And I got up at 5 like I usually do, and I went, all right, let's check the weather. And it was clear, no snow, but it was cold. Here is an image that I took when I took a peek outside at the thermostat. Nope, that's too cold. No, thank you. That's cold enough where, after looking at it and when frostbite can set in and how quickly, and the recommendations, if it's less than 13 degrees outside, you should take a break and get warm every like 30 minutes. That's not really feasible for what I'm doing if I'm going to go out and sit and watch for wildlife for 2, 3, 4 hours. I'd be too cold. So although there were situations in Wyoming over the last year or two where I would go, it's too cold, although snow and ice moving off of my car. I cleared as much of it as I could, and then being out in the sun has helped. Anyway, in Wyoming, there would be situations where the weather would be warmer. It'd be 20, 30 degrees, which is cold, but not cold enough to keep me from going out. And then I look and be like, oh, but we're in Wyoming where it's so flat and the wind chill would bring it down into the, if there's 40, 60 degree mile an hour winds, 60 mile an hour winds, that makes it absolutely miserable. So that keeps me inside as well, which is, it then, like the things moving against me, I'm lazy. I like to be comfortable. I already work 40 hours a week and I don't want this to become a chore. So I don't try to put, I put as much effort into it as I can, but I still try to give myself time to enjoy the weekend and things like that. So there's always this mixture of like, well, if I can get out real early and I can go and I have that motivation, then I can get that done and I can enjoy the rest of the day, or I can spend it editing or cleaning, whatever has to be done. Things of that nature. But there's still the guilt of like, well, you're not getting any better if you're not out practicing. So that has been going for years now, since I started this and made goals and achievable things and talked about it and started doing this. It's been a while since I started making videos as well. It used to just be writing blogs when I would go out and take pictures, and then it moved into video, and I started taking video and doing things like that, and we've been slowly growing. I'm welcoming all the new people to the YouTube channel. I hit 50 subscribers. We get a couple every month, usually around posting videos, which I can't do as often as I'd like to. I would love to be able to make it a regular weekly thing, or even more often, or create some kind of schedule. I am very schedule oriented. Like, pretty much my work schedule, my 4 days are a set. This is what I do every time, and I do the exact same thing, and the patterns help with different things. But anyway, this doesn't really work out to be that, because there's a lot of other things. If I don't go outside, I'm either going, all right, well, maybe I'm busy doing something else. Maybe I'm just trying to relax, take a break. Maybe I decided to do a learning day and do a bunch of reading. I'm still reading through the books that I talked about last time. Whatever the case may be. I do have some more time coming up where I expect to hopefully get out, because I usually take off from work, actually use my vacation time as vacation time and not use it as, all right, well, I got to work anyway, because, the last time I took off, it was so that we could go get driver's licenses and things, and that took a whole day that has to be done on a work day. But then before that, it was the move. I took off a week in order to move. And that's something even my manager is like, are you going to take any vacation time and actually do fun things, or are you just going to do them around the necessity things that we have to do? And I am, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, the two holidays here in the United States that I usually, if I can, I'll squeeze a couple extra days in, especially that week between Christmas and New Year's has been historically I'm taking off, and I'm going to use the weekends to build in as much time off as I can to get a nice long break, and use that as much as I can to go out and do things. So we'll see what the weather is going to be like around that time. But either way. And I started thinking about what I did last winter when it started getting the wind chill and the snow and the reasons not to go out. And I decided, I was like, well, I still want to produce something. I want to be creative. I want to practice something that I can be useful while inside. And so I wound up recording an audiobook. I did a chapter a week for however many chapters there were, however many weeks. I feel like it took 2 or 3 months. But it became a chore. It definitely did. It became one of those things where it's like, whew, it's Monday. This is what I have to do today. And it wasn't a small thing. It wasn't here, let me just do this real quick and knock this out of the way. It became, reading a chapter the way I was doing it, with as many flubs as I make, because that was kind of the point of recording it, was to practice speaking, so that this entire thing here is better. So it would take me probably 40 minutes to record, and then I have to cut all that down in the editing, and the editing would take probably 2 hours. So now you're talking close to 3 hours every week. This became a chore of something that I didn't hate it. Don't get me wrong. It was fine. It was enjoyable. It wasn't the most fun thing that I could do. It's not directly related to what I want to be doing of going out, but it was something I could do on a consistent basis, staying inside, something I had not done that I wanted to try. So I don't know if I'm going to go back to that this winter as something, because again, I don't want to make it a chore, but I would like to do something when I stay inside that is still something. I haven't decided what yet. I don't have any. It would be better if I'd thought of something so I could be like, and now introducing this thing. So I don't know. I might not we'll see. I'm still going to try to make it out as much as I can. It should not, unless it is actively snowing or blizzard or things like that, I can still get around. The roads are very well plowed here. The snow does not, as it seems to be, like from what I think I've talked about this, but whenever I, living in a southern state, southern part of the United States, didn't really get snow. If you got snow, it was not every year, and it was usually shut down a lot of things. It became a stay-at-home situation, and the stay-at-home situation for safety is less the north you go, because more people still function and have to get out, and they have ways around that. So that has been an adjustment to get used to for those kind of things, because it's not something I grew up doing. Not something I did not grow up driving in the snow. I did it, I think, twice while still living in Georgia. So that is a difference, but up here it's still something, as long as it's not actively snowing, which is kind of the same thing would be if it were raining. I would not go out and try to take pictures in the rain because it's just a miserable experience. It requires a lot more. Not all of the equipment I use is waterproof. Have to take extra steps and precautions, and it's not a good time. I mean, the animals also do the same thing. Not a whole lot of wildlife wants to be out in the rain, so snow, I assume, is pretty similar. Some of it might not be bothered, but if it's heavy snow, it's just miserable. I don't know how much of that is going to happen up here. I don't know what it will be like yet. We are still just getting into the start of it, and it pretty much just goes, all right, on this particular day, a couple of days a week, there's snow, and the other days it's sunny, and so there's a constant melting and freezing of the snow. And it was not, like I said yesterday, I woke up yesterday morning at 5 and it was 0. But today it was more like 20. And again, I also slept in, so I can get out later in the day. And I should try going out more towards the evening, where the day has been warmer throughout the day, so I'm not quite as cold, but then wildlife is still active right before the sunset. I could definitely try that. Hello, bird. Sitting on a branch. What are you? Too far away. I bet my binoculars are not with me today, because I used them at home to look at a bird across the... Dang, I don't have them. Oh well. I can't do both. Hold on. Okay. I wasn't able to see it in time. It flitted off. It was a little bitty thing. Maybe a sparrow or something, but I was trying to look with my piece of equipment there. My spotting scope that I bought with Patreon money last month. I've used it a couple of times when I am looking out at things like that. That's why I'm glad I leave that in the car. It's a nice case. Anyway, that was today. That's just a short little thing, and some images to go along with it that I will put in the video and on Patreon, of course. That hopefully shows. I've been wanting to see what the landscape looks like in winter, and we're not fully there yet. The next 3 coldest months are going to be the next 3 that have the most snow, so I'm sure there will be more, because there's a lot of, the peaks of the mountain have snow, and then the rest of it you can see the green pine trees and whatnot. So we'll see how that changes. I don't know if the entire mountain, specifically here, as I showed you right here at the beginning, but I'll do it again. Flip this around. You can see snow, maybe, if you can, on the peak, and then the rest of the mountain is not so much. And even all the way around, look at all of that. This is the least area, as I was driving out here, I actually went, oh, there's very little snow out here. So yeah, just an excuse to get out. I was glad to do it because I don't know if I'm going to get to tomorrow, and I wanted to do something rather than nothing this weekend, so that it was not yet another weekend to go by, because similar to me mentioning, there was a live stream yesterday that I knew that would take up my time. I know next Saturday at the very least, maybe Sunday as well, will be a Pokemon weekend because the new Pokemon is coming out, as I have talked about if you watch that video. And I will be spending that weekend with my significant other playing Pokemon, as we very much plan to do. Very excited about that. Very looking forward to that. And that was another, I in no way try to put any blame in any way regard, because it is not actually stopping me, but my significant other has been going through a great deal of physical pain that is still under investigation by the doctors. That's a weird way to put that. They're still trying to diagnose it. There's some things that they think, and she's done a lot of scans and a lot of different things and been on different medications, and nothing is helping. So there's been a lot of her having to call out from work, and I'm home working anyway, but taking care of her when I can, and doing everything to keep her from moving and causing even further pain. So I am not in any way trying to say that actually keeps me from going out and doing what it is that I need to do, but there is that on my head, on my mind, of like, boy, I wish she felt better, because I feel bad that she doesn't feel bad, and there is just, it's an unfortunate situation. And that's, I'm going to take another day off from work, or a day off from work. I haven't had to. She's been able to get to all of the procedures and things herself, but one of the days right before Thanksgiving, I will take off and specifically drive her to and from an appointment. So there's that. I hope she gets to feeling better, because it does make me feel a little guilty being like, well, it hasn't stopped me. Like I said, there's been more than other things. I'm trying to make that clear, because I don't want to put any pressure or stress or anything. But there is the, like, if I could disappear for 6 or 8 hours to go into the wilderness to go do whatever it is, she needs my help, I'm not there. Now, has not been a situation. I don't expect it to be a situation, because she's not immovable. That's not the right word for it, is it? She can still move if she needs to, but it is easier if she doesn't. So I get things and make meals and whatnot. Anyway, that's just been something else that's been going on during this time period that hopefully we can get resolved, find out what the problem is, and fix, because I don't want it to be, I don't think from everything that the doctors have said anymore, it doesn't seem like it's not fixable. It is a chronic condition that will last forever. That may be one of the possibilities that they've talked about, but at the same time, that condition that they talked about should not be causing this level of pain. So anyway, we'll find out more, and hopefully we'll just get good news on all of that, because it is quite unfortunate, and prevents her from being not in pain. Who wants to be in pain? Literal pain 24/7. It's awful. So that's what I did today. And I'm going to go home and finish up all the things I need to do. And if the weather is nice, then tomorrow there will be more with the big lens when I go out to look for wildlife and look at birds and things, hopefully. That is my goal. I certainly would like to do so. And that's what I got right now. Good stuff. Making the best of what we can. That could have been an inspirational quote, but really it was just the first thing I thought of. So anyway, I'm going to go. I have to drive now. Thanks for watching. I'm done. Goodbye.